Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Heavy Tones, the channel all about going heavy and low on guitar. First off, everyone please keep safe with the whole corona thing. Because of the whole corona thing, there's been a bit of a lockdown, and that's given me some time to learn some of the songs of my favorite new LOATHE album. And I can never remember the title. It's called I Let It In and It Took Everything. Now, my favorite thing about this album is not that they're really progressive with the whole new modern metal, but because of the new sort of style of shoegaze plus metal that they've combined on this album. So in this video, I'm going to explore some of those songs and give a playthrough, and then after that, we'll talk more about the setup. So first off, the key ingredient for LOATHE sound is obviously the Squier Jazzmaster Baritone. And unfortunately, they have discontinued this model. It's a pity because it really is a key element in their sound. So if you do see one of these on the used market, definitely grab it. So what's key is the long 30-inch scale and then the stock Duncan designed Jazzmaster pickups. So these single coil Jazzmaster pickups are really key in getting that sound. So that combined with a modern metal amp sound, you're really going to get close. So let me give you a quick playthrough and then we'll talk more about the setup. And also, if you like what you see on this channel, please hit the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell to get notified of future videos. So first, here we go with some of the songs. Okay, so those were some of my favorite songs from the new album. And like I said, the key elements that I really like are that combination of shoegaze and metal and low tunings, really giving a unique sound. Now, let's talk a bit more about the setup. So as I mentioned, it's the Squier Jazzmaster Baritone that's really key to the sound, and they tuned really low on these guitars. They tuned down to an alternative low E, but then there's also some changes. So let me first talk about the sort of setup with the strings and then the different types of tunings. So basically the best way to think about it is from the first to fifth string on the guitar, they tune to a drop A. Then with the sixth string, they drop this usually a fourth down to E, but on the album they've also experimented with dropping this all the way down to C sharp. So what I've done is I've used the Ernie Ball 8-string skinny top heavy bottom, and I've used the 64 to 16 set for the first to the fifth string. And then on the bottom, I've used a heavy 100 gauge string. So this allows me to keep it in E with some nice tension and also tune it down all the way to C sharp, and it still retains that tension. It's a bit looser, but because of that thicker gauge, it's holding the tension quite nicely and works really well on this 30-inch scale guitar. And also, like I said, the stock pickups are key. Now let's take a look at some more stuff on the DAW side of things with the amp processing that I've used to get to that sound. So I'm using Logic, and here are all the guitars for the track Is It Really You? So I've layered it quite a bit, but let me first go through so you can see what I did. So starting here with Jazzmaster 01, I'm just going to put that in the center, but if you take a look at Jazzmaster 01 and 02, I've panned them hard left and hard right just to give them some separation and a bigger sound. On this, I'm using THU Override, which is my amp modeling plugin of choice, and what I've used is a modeling of the PV5150 as the amp head. Then this goes into a cabinet IR that's using a modern oversized 4x12 with some V30s. This amp IR has been recorded with an SM57. There's some slight EQ processing where I've just dropped a bit of the bass, and then in front of the amp head I've got a tube screamer to focus the sound, and because these are single coil pickups in the guitar, they're a bit noisy, so I've used a gate to cut out any low-level noise that you don't want. So just to give you an example of the sound, here it is. And then just to give it a bit of contrast, I've copied that audio to another track and have used another amp. On this, I've used this amp model over here, which is a modeling of the angled Firebird. So this just gives a slightly different tone. It's going into the matched cab for this amp head, which is using an SM57. And as well in front is a tube screamer to focus the sound, and then a gate to remove any unwanted noise. And with this, you've got this sound. Combine it with the other one. And then adding the panning again. I've recorded another take of that guitar and set the same amp modeling. So with these 4 tracks, I've got this. And just to give some extra low end, I've recorded 2 more guitars just playing a bit lower down with some power chords on the Jazzmaster. They're also using the PV5150 amp modeling. So with those other guitars, and I've actually used the Jazzmaster as a bass guitar as well. So with these guitars, I've used the bridge pickup. But on this track here, I've decided to use the neck pickup to give a bit more low end, and I've used some bass processing. I've got a bass amp, which is the bass amp in Logic, just giving a bit more of a bass tone to it. Then I've used this really cool modeling plugin of a Sans amp to give a bit of bass overdrive. Then there's an EQ with a low boost and a compressor to even out the dynamics on that bass. So here is the bass guitar. And then with the guitars. So it's really impressive. With one guitar, you can cover the heavy distorted guitars and the bass. And with everything, with the drums as well, you've got this. Great stuff. So I hope that gives you a little eye-opener and to get a bit closer to the LOATHE sound, using primarily a baritone guitar to get those low tunings, and then some amp modeling like this to get that heavy tone. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it informative. As I said, please click the subscribe button if you liked it and the notification bell to be notified of future videos, and please leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'll catch you in the next video where I'm probably going to take this guitar and add a humbucker to it and hear how that changes the sound. They'll be in one of the future videos. Until then, keep it low and keep it heavy.